Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Wednesday, November 19th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you. Perlo will be joining us later as well, ready to break down the Wednesday NHL card. 4 games on tap. We thank everybody for joining us on the Betcast last night. A lot of fun, as it always is. Entertaining hockey throughout. A lot of interesting moments in the games last night. We'll keep the recap a little bit brief today. Just point out a couple of the highlight moments of the night. Crazy ending in Dallas is what stuck out. Islanders and Stars. First of all, the Rantanen hit on Romanov into the boards. It was ugly scene. You hate to see someone in that kind of position getting injured. And certainly Patrick Waugh let Mikko Rantanen and the Dallas Stars bench know about it, barking at them after that occurred. And that was late in the game. And at that moment, we thought the game had ended because Dallas was given obviously a 5-minute major to Rantanen for that. And they were already up 3-2. You figure, game over with 30 seconds, 20 seconds left. But no, Dallas shorthanded, looked like they maybe had tied the game, but goalie interference was ruled on the potential tying goal, much to the chagrin of a lot of us on the Betcast, probably everybody on the Betcast, because I think a lot of us had various forms of over or Dallas or draw. And obviously all of that falls by the wayside by the ruling that goal was disallowed in the final few seconds. So the Islanders hang on for a 3-2 win in that game. Certainly it was the Leafs got a desperately needed win. I thought it was one of their better, overall team games to snap this losing streak. Tampa rolled New Jersey 5-1. Winnipeg took advantage of a Columbus team on a back-to-back, getting in late 5-2. The Chicago Blackhawks keep on getting the job done. They beat Calgary 5-2, and a bargain bin winner with Oliver Moore. Not a Picasso, not a Rembrandt, that goal, but it counts, and it counts for another bargain bin special winner for Alex there with Oliver Moore last night. San Jose, what a ending that was too. Macklin Celebrini, hat-trick for him. Connor Bedard, hat-trick for him in the Chicago game. The future of the league is in very good hands, clearly, with both of those guys registering hat-tricks last night. Celebrini, of course, getting the game-winning goal in overtime with his hat-trick goal. A lot of us jumped on the hat-trick prop on Celebrini later in that game. I was able to get plus 450 on that, so it was great to hit that. And then Vegas beats the Rangers by a score of 3-2. That game kind of pissed me off. I had the first period over. That falls short. And a piece of the Rangers, that falls short. But give Vegas credit. Needed to stop the bleeding on home ice, and they were able to do that in the 3-2 win. But everybody that joined us on the Betcast last night, we can't thank you enough. Great times as always. And don't forget, get on Patreon. Sign up, patreon.com/iceguys, because if you're a Patreon member, you will have another Betcast coming your way before the end of the month. So make sure you get on board for that. Alex, your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, another fun betcast, another profitable betcast, and those are the two things that we emphasize with these betcasts. It's a lot of fun. We're drinking and laughing and smoking and having a good time, but we're also hitting these bets and making some money in the process. And shout out to Rich H. I know he had a huge night, with live wagers. Like I said, a lot of us were cashing different things. A lot of the draw plays that we liked, a lot of people grabbed in live. Like I said, Utah, San Jose. A lot of people jumped in with St. Louis, Toronto. And we talked about it. Somebody asked us yesterday on the show, and they're asking us even during the betcast, what parameters do you look for when trying to grab a live draw? St. Louis, Toronto was a prime example of a game where you could have jumped in and grabbed the draw live. It had that kind of feel in that process, but there were ample chances to get a decent price still, even if you didn't bet that pregame. So to have those spots come through on the betcast nights where we talk about so many different theories and ways to bet live, but to have them come into fruition is nice. And then of course the bargain bin continues to roll 19 days in the month of November, we've hit 17 bargain bins collectively as a show. So it's just fantastic to have that momentum rolling along as well. So just a fun, profitable night. And like Ian was saying, definitely join Patreon, because we're not going to be promoting it and posting it when we do the Patreon only betcast. We will announce it on the show toward the end of that show, the day of. We'll let all the Patreon members know beforehand, and then we'll be rolling that evening with a shorter betcast than what we had last night.
Yeah, that's a good point. It'll be a shorter betcast. We won't be on the whole night, so very important to point that out. But looking forward to that. And again, it's going to be before the end of the month, before the end of November, so all the more reason you had to get on board. Yeah, it was an up and down betting night for me, Matt. It was up and down. Like I said, win some, lose some kind of night. The Leaf over losing was unfortunate, but we did get the draw there. The Vegas first period over, best bet falling short, was frustrating. But we did have some good dog winners. Chicago, San Jose, after blowing the 2-0 lead, hung on for us. So, like I said, up and down night, win some, lose some kind of night. All right, let's get into Wednesday. We got 4 games. We've got Edmonton and Washington. Capitals minus 120, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. I'm going to take a shot with Edmonton here, plus 100. Here's why. Washington's been terrible off a win. I went back and looked. They haven't won 2 in a row since like middle of October. They've had a win, lose a bunch in a row, win at one game, lose again, lose a couple, win one game, lose a couple. They have not been very good, the Capitals, at putting consecutive performances together and wins. Now, Edmonton coming off the 5-1 loss to Buffalo. You'd like to think this team means business tonight. You should be chomping at the bit to bounce back when you have a performance like that. Although we did mention why I like Buffalo there at that price was because of the rough history that Edmonton had in Buffalo, and it played out once again with the Oilers losing to the Sabres. So like I said, I think I like Edmonton a little bit here in this spot. It's just lack of trust for this Capitals team to win 2 in a row. It's been a while since that's happened. So I don't mind taking a shot here with Edmonton here, plus 100 in this game. The draw, I think, might be worth a look as well. Not my favorite draw by any stretch of the imagination, but East versus West, I do expect a pretty tight game. So that's what I'd be looking at here. Dog and draw. Skinner for the Oilers and Logan Thompson in net for the Capitals. And Logan Thompson's actually kind of, I don't want to say he's hit a wall, but he's not been nearly as good the last couple times we've seen him. We remember Florida lit him up pretty good. Had an unbelievable start to the year. But like I said, hasn't been nearly as effective. And by the way, Terry Edelman, happy birthday to Terry Edelman. He's in our chat. I just want to point that out. It's
happy birthday
today. Happy birthday, Terry. I was going to get around to wishing you a personal message. Happy birthday, but all the best. Hope you have a great year ahead. You're not a year older, you're a year better. You got to look at it that way. And anytime you have a birthday. Yeah. So happy birthday to Terry Edelman there in our chat. And his show, Pucks on Net, I think, or is what it's called, Picks on Net. Make sure you check that out. Alex, what do you think here, Edmonton, Washington?
Yeah, I like Edmonton in this spot. We were kind of talking about this last night toward the end of the betcast, and I feel like this is a spot where, like I said, with Edmonton, the way that they got trounced against Buffalo, and that's a spot and a team they've struggled against, I feel like they can really, bounce back here. Like this is a Washington team that you don't trust to just have going on a hot run right now. At this price, I like Edmonton here. I also have my bargain bin coming from this game. The draw, I could see where, like I said, the theory of, East and West, this could be a kind of a slow game, kind of back and forth, kind of a tight game. But plus 320, not one of my favorite draws. So that's a price where I don't need to jump in pregame. If I watch it and I see that pace, I could jump in live. But I do like the Oilers to get the win here. And like I said, my bargain bin comes from this contest.
We're going to keep rolling with Jack Roslovic. This guy's been tremendous for the Edmonton Oilers. 5-game point streak, scoring goals as well. 2 in a row with a goal. Not bargain bin price, but still a good price. Plus 260 for him to find the back of the net. The grade 8 Ovechkin has goals now in back-to-back games entering tonight as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Jack Roslovic's been feeling it for sure for the Oilers. That's the favorite prop of mine in that game. Calgary and Buffalo. Buffalo minus 150 home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Tough spot for the Flames back-to-back after playing last night. We should see Devin Cooley in net. Buffalo, big win for them against Edmonton, 5-1. We'll see if they can build on that. I actually like the Sabre team total a little bit here, over 3.5. I think that's the way I'm going to go about it. Cooley has been better than I thought, but like I said, I think Buffalo can score at least 4 goals here tonight. So Buffalo team total over in this one. Alex, what do you think here? Flame Sabres.
Yeah, this is a game that's going to be a pass for me. I was leaning toward the draw, like I said, with the goaltending, and even with Devin Cooley, who has fared fairly well in the starts that he's got. This is one where I just don't know where we see, like I said, Buffalo coming off of a big time win. That's usually a spot to want to fade them, especially now you're laying 150. But Calgary, after the way they were playing last night, second night of back-to-backs, this is a spot where I don't feel comfortable trusting in Calgary either. So maybe wait and grab something live. But of the 4 games, here's one where nothing really stuck out.
Yeah, I could see that. Not the best game right now on the board here with this one. But like I said, Calgary, tough spot on the back-to-back. So like I said, Buffalo, I think is worth a look here. And again, the Flames just start scoring. And Colton Ellis, the goalie for the Buffalo Sabres, he played well, in his last game against Edmonton. And, he's played all right, in some of his recent starts. So like I said, I think there's a winnable game for Buffalo. I'd much rather take Buffalo team total than the -150. I'm staying far away from the money line price. But like I said, the team total for the Sabres over 3.5, I think could be worth a look there. All right, Carolina and Minnesota. This is the second TNT game tonight. Hurricanes -170 road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. I'm not just saying that because it's Terry's birthday, but I think Minnesota, there's reasons to maybe take a shot with them here. They're +150. It's a big underdog price at home. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've beaten some good teams, Vegas, Anaheim. They've beaten a couple of good teams during this run. They've played Carolina very tough at, formerly XL Energy Center, now Grand Casino Arena. They've won 3 of the last 4 times they've hosted Carolina. I thought the game they just faced off against each other recently down in Raleigh, Hurricanes won 4-3. I thought Minnesota was dead even with them. I thought that was a dead even game. I thought Minnesota had every opportunity to win that game. They played Carolina, like I said, toe-to-toe. They just fell short 4-3 in that game. I definitely think coming into tonight, that should give them some confidence. And really, what should give them some confidence is suddenly Jesper Wallstedt maybe staking his claim to be taking a step toward being the goalie the Minnesota Wild envisioned him possibly being, because he is off back-to-back shutout wins against Anaheim and Calgary. He's turned aside 89 of his last 91 shots. So he has been absolutely dialed in for the Minnesota Wild in between the pipes. So Carolina's still dealing with the absence of Slavin. Now, it does sound like Jalen Chatfield might be back, so at least they're getting one of their other injured defensemen possibly back for this game, Carolina, here tonight. But like I said, Carolina's off the win against Boston the other night, so it's not like there's major urgency for them here in this game. And this has been a tough place for them, the Hurricanes, over the years. So I will take a swing here with Minnesota tonight at +150 in the second game of the double dip on TNT. Alex, what do you think here, Carolina, Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the Wild, like money line, especially this high of a place, +150. But I also like them to score first goal of the game, +115. First goal, first period, +155. And it could be an emotional start to this contest. There will certainly be a moment of silence before the game. This 10-year-old kid named Weston Paskevich, he had leukemia, and he'd signed a one-day contract with the Wild during the Make-A-Wish program recently. He passed away this morning. Very sad story, and that was something that really was resonated. I saw all throughout Instagram and Twitter. Anybody who was connected with the Wild had been retweeting this, so I could see this being maybe a heavy emotional moment to start the game. And I think that might maybe spur the Wild to get a little energy behind them, get that goal. So I already like that play of Wild scoring first, like I said, +115, and I grabbed +135 with the goal in the first period. But also adding a Wild money line here. I think they get the win here. Like I said, Carolina still having some rough spots with getting everybody back defensively. It's going to take some time. It's going to be a while before Carolina really deserves to be the team that's 170, 180, 190 and getting back into that momentum once they get everyone healthy on that blue line and it's starting to roll there. But I think this is a spot, especially with how Jesper Wallsted's been playing, that momentum on top as well. I like Minnesota here as a home dog.
No doubt. And yes, that's obviously what Terry's saying in the chat about Danila Yurov, who's going to get an opportunity to center the top line tonight due to some injuries, because Minnesota does have a couple injuries. Ryan Hartman, and of course, Marco Rossi, Nico Sturm are still on IR, and Danila Yurov is going to get this opportunity. John Hines says he deserves the chance. He likes what he's seen from him in the last few games, and you can get, obviously, for him tonight, plus 575 at FanDuel to find the back of the net. So not bad. If you want to play it safe, you could go point prop plus 177, assist prop firms plus 270. But again, they're going to give Danila Yurov this chance right in between Zuccarello and Kaprizov on the top line. So that's certainly a bet worth a look. Jordan Stahl, the captain of the Hurricanes, back-to-back games with a goal for him. So I think Jordan Stahl might be a nice little worthy shot here as far as finding the back of the net, plus 550 for him going into this game. We've had Taylor Hall as well. He has scored multiple times in the past against Minnesota, scored last game. You're getting north of plus 400 for him. That's pretty interesting. What's very interesting is my guy from Dundas here, Mark Jankowski, scored in the last game for Carolina, plus 850.
Had a nice goal in the last game. Real nice goal.
And he scored against Minnesota multiple times. For some reason, against Minnesota, he's got good head-to-head goal-scoring track record for some reason against Minnesota. So maybe a Mark Jankowski, flyer in that great price range. Again, you can get Mark Jankowski plus 850. I forgot to mention, too, I'm on the draw as well. This is Minnesota and the draw for me. One thing I want to point out with Carolina is they've gone to overtime 2 of the last 3, and the same thing with Minnesota. They've gone to overtime in 2 of the last 3 games as well. So I'm also going to sprinkle on the draw here with the Hurricanes and the Wild. All right, the nightcap, final game of this Wednesday card, Boston, Anaheim. We've got Anaheim minus 170, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is a live betting game for me. It really is. I mean, when you look at Anaheim, they're finally getting some betting market respect in a price range like this. Minus 170 at home against the Boston Bruins, albeit a Boston team that comes into town a little bit banged up. They were already missing Elias Lindholm, Casey Middlestat, Victor Arvidsson's now on IR, Charlie McAvoy is still out now for the Boston Bruins as well. So there's no doubt it's a little bit of a shorthanded team at the moment. Not that they're not capable of picking up the slack, but they're not the kind of team with the quality depth throughout the roster to withstand injuries necessarily as easily as some other teams. So, to be banged up in some of these key areas, like I said, we're talking multiple centers out, 2 defensemen out, Arvidsson, who's supposed to be one of your counted upon top 6. Oh, shocked that Victor Arvidsson's hurt again. Of course, I'm not being facetious saying that. He always gets hurt. Meanwhile, you've got Anaheim, who, of course, came back from the road trip. Not the easiest spot, but found a way to come back and beat Utah 3-2 in overtime. Looked like they were going to lose. They tied it in the final seconds and then ended up winning it in overtime. Anaheim just continues to be a great, great home team. 6-1 they are on home ice. We'll see how this one plays out. I do have some interest in the first period over. Might bet that because Anaheim still, for the season, has been pretty good as far as first period overs on home ice are concerned. Might look at the first period over. Other than that, everything I look at in this game will be in-game live betting. My approach is going to be that if Boston at any point gets the lead, if that does happen, I'll take Anaheim live at a plus price. That's going to be what I'll be looking at. And they already showed against Utah they could come back the other night. So that's going to be the approach. Don't want them pregame, but if Boston has the lead, I'll get Anaheim at a plus price live in-game, and that's when I'll jump on the Ducks. Alex, what do you think here, Boston, Anaheim?
Yeah, this is one where I have the draw pregame. I grab that plus 350. It's the only draw that I like tonight. And then right there with you, if the Ducks go down a goal, I'll look to try and grab them at a plus price or close to pick them in game. But this is definitely a spot where I feel like it could be a close, tight battle. We've seen, of course, like I said, Anaheim's last game go the OT, but we've also seen head-to-head 2 of the last 4 meetings go past regulation, 3 of the last 7. So definitely could be one where, like I said, Boston starting, on the road, want to play a little bit tighter, be a little bit more responsible defensively. We know that Anaheim has no problem with that. And this is one of those spots, right? We talk about Quenneville spots. This is a spot where, especially a team now, we did our job too with betting Anaheim at prices that we knew we were getting great value, and now we've seen the books adjust. But this is a spot where, as a home favorite, they tighten up, play a little bit more sound defensively, and Quenneville teams have that tendency to overcorrect defensively and find their way going into overtime. So that's part of the reason why I like to draw. The handicap there is that Anaheim, the more that they play with a defensive style, the more that it's still not necessarily that they're going back and forth with the pace. They could be controlling the pace, but if they're just not getting the scoring chances, they'll sit on a spot tied 2-2, tied 3-3, and take it into overtime.
No doubt. That's definitely a wise approach. Troy Terry, 7 assists. Good call there. Cutter Gauthier, I think, for goal prop tonight. Might be worth a shot, in my opinion, there with that. The one good thing, as I always say about a team battling injuries like Boston, is it opens the door for value with player props taking the spots. And for them, you've got Husnadinov's been good on the top line with Pasternak and Geekie. You've got Alex Steeves and Matej Blumel on the second line with Zaka. So you're looking at the likes of Steeves and Blumel on that second line. There's some value if you want to take a shot on their props here in this game. So that's the good news, is that you do find value with players getting the opportunities that they are. And maybe you can look in those directions. Like I said, Usnadinov on the top line, Alex Steeves and Matej Blumel on the second line for Boston. Certainly they've certainly got potential maybe to have really good value tonight given their spots. And again, you're not seeing a huge adjustment here either, because Matej Blumel, who's going to be on that second line tonight, like the prices are, plus 490. It's a second line guy, for the Boston Bruins tonight. Alex Steeves, plus 660. This guy playing on the second line, top 6 role. So like I said, these are the kind of prop situations that we like and we look for. And so maybe sprinkling on some of those players I mentioned might be worth a shot for sure. All right. Thanks to everyone. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Like I said, we're gutting it out today, as you can clearly tell, as far as the voice is hanging in there by a thread. Like I said, we're still battling through this cough and sore throat. But again, we'll get through it. And again, we appreciate you guys joining us last night for the live betcast. I hope I feel better too, Timothy. My goodness, I do. But I will. It's just going to take a few days. That's all. No doubt. Check out wizardsportspicks.com, by the way. We're all there. Me, Alex, Matt Robinson. Premium picks, free picks on a daily basis. Check out I have to do that Beyond the Lines video. Hopefully they can put up with me being under the weather for it. But yeah, I got to record that for Thursday. So I'll be doing that later. I'm going to be just a short video for this one. But like I said, wizardsportspicks.com. Make sure you check it out. And again, patreon.com/ice guys, just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content. And again, we have a live betcast exclusive to Patreon members only coming up before the end of the month of November. So make sure you get on board before then. And again, our daily betting card, sides, totals, player props, posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So get on board. What are you waiting for? Your $10 per month membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us going long term. So make sure you check it out. $10 per month, patreon.com/ice guys.
Yeah, I just updated the goalie charts right before we went live. So the PDF file is also at the bottom of the chart. So you can read it on patreon.com, or you can download that and have that on your phone with a downloadable file at the bottom of that page. Also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got all kind of great merch. We've got these wonderful t-shirts. We've got caps. We've got hoodies, jackets, mugs. We've got everything. And now's the time to order. We're just a month away from Christmas. You want to get things and have them under the tree, be able to give them out to your friends, your family. Definitely want to take advantage of that now. So get on board. Shop at the Ice Guys store. That's over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Get yourself some gifts for the holidays over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. iceguys.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Royal Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check it out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code IceGuys. All right, bargain bin special of the night. We haven't had many dry nights with the bargain bin special. We've hit one from somebody most nights here in the month of November, and we got one last night, courtesy of Alex with Oliver Moore for the Chicago Blackhawks. See if we can add to the tote here tonight for bargain bin special on this Wednesday. Alex, what do you like for bargain bin special of the night?
I have two bargain bin specials, but one of them you'll have to find later at patreon.com/iceguys. One that I do like, and this is my top of the two. It's Edmonton and Washington. I'm looking at a guy that, Ian, you cashed with him quite often in the bargain bin department, but more so when he was with Calgary. Now he's with Edmonton. Andrew Mangiapane. Get him anytime goal scorer plus 550. Looking at him tonight for the score for the Edmonton Oilers, moving up in that second line role. So Andrew Mangiapane for Edmonton. Anytime goal scorer plus 550. That's my first bargain bin special tonight. The second one you'll have to find at patreon.com/iceguys.
There you go. For our Patreon members, an exclusive second bargain bin for Alex on the Patreon page. So make sure you check that out. That's a good one, Mangiapane. The former player angle too, former Capital. Now going back to Washington to play them. So yeah, Andrew Mangiapane plus 550 for bargain bin special of the night for Alex B. Smith. I've got two from the same game. Going to Carolina, Minnesota. I'm going for Carolina to Jordan Staal, the captain. Goals in back-to-back games, plus 550 for Jordan Staal to find the back of the net for the Hurricanes. And for Minnesota, I'm giving the kid a shot, centering the top line with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. Danila Yurov at plus 600 to find the back of the net tonight for the Minnesota Wild. Again, centering the top line. And at Fanatic Sportsbook, he's plus 600, the best price available. How do you turn that down? I won't be. Danila Yurov for Minnesota, plus 600. So there you go. Jordan Staal, plus 550, Carolina. Danila Yurov, Minnesota, plus 600 for my two bargain bin specials of the night for this Wednesday. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Let's head up the street to Grand Casino Arena and give me the Minnesota Wild as a dog tonight to get the win against the Carolina Hurricanes and get it as high as plus 150. I'll also like them to get the goal first in the contest, but I like Minnesota to get 2 points here at home. Give me the Wild as a dog. That's my best bet for this Wednesday.
All right, Minnesota upwards of plus 150. So really big home underdog price there for the Minnesota Wild in that one. My best bet, I'm going to take the Oilers here tonight, plus 105 against Washington. I mean, the Capitals have just had a remarkable inability to win 2 in a row. It's been very, very obvious just looking at it. They have had a real problem putting good performances together. Edmonton should come out with a good performance effort tonight following the debacle in Buffalo the other night. And again, this Capitals team, just one step forward, 2 steps back, has basically been the epitome of their season so far. So like Edmonton in this spot, the price is pretty good, plus 105 with the Oilers here. We'll take them. Edmonton, plus 105 against Washington for my best bet here for this Wednesday NHL card. All right, that's a wrap. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging in there with me, too. As you can tell, I'm clearly not 100%, but like I said, appreciate you guys putting up with it. We'll get better sooner rather than later. And like I said, the shows must go on, though. So appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday. Monday's delayed start, Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will be back tomorrow on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.